Watch this ex-Muslim give the reason for why he doesn't follow Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Do not compare Jesus with Muhammad. Jesus never killed a person. He never killed an apostate.
Now you see how he says that Jesus never killed, but Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him, did. The only record we have is during the Battle of Badr, where the Prophet PBUH is reported to have killed Jubay ibn Khalaf, a Qurayshi warrior who had vowed to kill him. Which is not an act of murder but an act of self-defense. Furthermore, if killing is what it takes for you to stop following someone, then what about Moses? When Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave, Moses killed the Egyptian and then hid his body.
When I studied the life of Muhammad, in 10 years, he waged 83 wars. In 10 years, 27 wars and 56 raids. And you are going to teach me that Islam is peaceful?
Once again, when you portray Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him's wars as if it was so evil, then once again what are you going to do about Moses and David all waging wars as well?
Muhammad, he had many wives, 11 of them. One of them, she was 9 years old. He was 53. I am 50. I cannot marry a girl that has 9 years old.
Now I really don't understand how you're going to point finger about how multiple wives is wrong, as if the concept of having multiple wives isn't present in your very own Bible. Furthermore, the age of Aisha is one discussed many times. However, some are still not going to accept the truth, and so I will like to put things into perspective for them. In the UK, before 1875, the age of consent was 12 years old. Furthermore, in most US states in the early 1880s, the age of consent was 10 years old in about 30 states, as low as 7 years old in Delaware, and so when you see how ages for consent was so different just around 160 years ago, tell me, how are you going to compare today's one from over 1,400 years ago?
He raided a Jewish tribe. He killed the whole family of a newly bride called Safiya. He took her as a wife the same time.
Now for this we need a little bit more context of what happened. Khaybar had become a base for opposition against the Muslims after multiple treaties were violated. Prophet Muhammad PBUH led a military expedition to Khaybar due to political and security threats from some of the tribes there. After the Muslim victory at Khaybar, Safiya's husband was killed during the battle, and she was taken as a captive along with other prisoners of war. The Prophet PBUH freed her and offered her the choice to return to her people or accept Islam and marry him. Safiya chose Islam and marriage. It was her choice to accept Islam and marry Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him. However, if you still got a problem with war captives, then I would again like you to read from the Bible. In Deuteronomy 21:10-13, it is said that when you go to war against your enemies and you take them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you desire her and want to take her as your wife, then you shall bring her into your house. She shall shave her head and trim her nails, put aside the clothing of her captivity, and mourn her parents for a full month. After that, you may go to her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife.